So, as I'm sure you have all noticed, the silver price has been up, it's been down, it's been all over the place recently, which some people can see as good, some people see as bad. Depends on if you're new or if you've been doing it a while. Some of the newer folks obviously are kind of jumping on the bandwagon because it's been hitting the news recently. And maybe some of you are here wondering what exactly is the best type of silver to buy. Should you be buying in this market? Should you be selling? Should you be holding? Everyone's got their own preferences. Right now I'm buying the dips, and I would suggest you do the same. But this video will just give you a quick glimpse into how I personally am navigating the current silver market. Hope you enjoy the video. Welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on the video today. I do appreciate it. Hope you're able to enjoy it. Let's get into it. So, with the current silver market going on right now, obviously the price has been sitting, I'd say roughly around $29 an ounce for the silver. A good thing to note that I think is important, and some people may disagree with me on this, but as the silver price ticks upwards, whenever it hits a new high, if you just wait a day or two or three or maybe a week or so, more than likely there will be a slight adjustment and the price will come down. Even if the price just comes down 40 or 50 cents per ounce, that's going to be reflected in savings on your end if you just wait to buy until there's a slight market correction. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It's definitely gone up to $32 a couple of times recently, and I still have tried to not buy until it's dropped back down underneath 30. I'm waiting for it to shoot straight up. That method is, for me, just seems to be a little better dollar cost average way of investing into it. Obviously, if you're new to it, or if you don't know anything about it, or if you don't have any, I would say just go ahead and buy some right now because there's no telling when the market will go up. But all signs are pointing to it moving up at a pretty rapid pace pretty soon here. And it could be next few weeks, it could be as late as summer of next year. So maybe you have time, maybe you don't. I wouldn't risk it, but I think it's still a good buy, even if you buy over $30 an ounce right now. I think it'll still be a good buy. I do not think you will regret it. So for those of us who are dollar cost averaging, I believe it just makes sense to wait for the market to correct a little bit after each time it goes up. And one really good thing about silver is if you're using it as a long-term hedge against inflation or preservation of wealth, there's never really a bad time to buy silver. So if that's what your reasoning is for it, then absolutely buy right now because it is undervalued. Now, to get into the specifics of what it is that I have been buying recently, to be honest, it's not very flashy. It's probably not as exciting as other people's silver stacks who've been stacking for years and years and years, and they've got just tons of numismatics and tons of all these different weights and sizes and shapes and colors. Um, I've honestly just found myself sticking to the 1 ounce and the 10 ounce sizes. The reason for that is if you're buying a 10 ounce bar, you are going to pay lower premiums per ounce on average than compared to the lower denominations as far as 5 ounce, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, especially things more fractional than that. The premiums are too high for it to honestly be worth stacking. And I have found, at least in my personal experience, a 10 ounce bar usually carries a lower premium than a 10 ounce round would. I'm not exactly sure why that is, and it definitely varies depending on mint and depending on the design. Some people pay so much extra for some of these designs. Some of these 5 ounce and 10 ounce rounds are considered to be a little bit more on the semi numismatic scale, so the premiums are higher. If you get just a generic 10 ounce bar, you know that you've got 10 ounces of silver that you paid a low premium for. It's definitely not fractional, but it's not so big like a 100 ounce bar or maybe even a kilo. That might be a little bit harder for you to offload should you need to liquidate some of your silver. So for right now, the majority of my stack is in 10 ounce bars. Honestly, recently the premiums on rounds have been very similar per ounce to the premiums on 10 ounce bars. and so sometimes I'll get a mixture of both. I will also buy 1 ounce sovereign coins when I see them maybe on sale, or if premium on them seems to be a little low. I do think that the recognizability makes them a little easier to sell, whether it be to your local coin shop or to someone on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or whatever the case is. A sovereign coin that's backed by a government is a little bit easier to verify than generic buffalo rounds that could be made from multiple different types of mints or even potentially counterfeiters. So if I find a good buy on sovereign coins, I do like that they are backed by their government. Obviously, the American-made silver eagles are selling at a very high premium right now, so I have not been stacking those much recently. My local coin shop will give me a little bit of a discount on those, so every once in a while I'll go in and buy a few, but I haven't been doing those in bulk at all. I would say for the most part recently, I've been putting most of my investment in silver into 1 ounce rounds and into 10 ounce bars. So I think the 1 ounce rounds are a very solid option right now in this market because the premiums are not high at all as compared to most other silver buys. And the fact that you now have fractional wealth makes it a lot more convenient if things were to go sideways. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. I'm not going to make this video too long. I think I'm going to do a little bit longer, more in-depth video in the future on this and maybe go and compare some numbers as far as what your average premium is going to be on 1 versus 2 versus 5 versus 10 ounce versus kilo, and kind of maybe go into a little bit more depth on the number side of things as to why I believe that the 10 ounce bar and the 1 ounce rounds are probably going to be your best buy overall. And if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments what you prefer to stack. And of course, if you did stay till the end, I do really appreciate you clicking on my video and watching it. It means a lot to me. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you are able to come back and watch my next video. And I'm going to be trying to put out content on a weekly basis in the form of long form content videos like this, as well as I'm trying to do a couple of shorts every week. So let me know where I can improve. I'm learning and I'm wanting to know your input so I can make it better and more entertaining for you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.